Hello, my name is Eugene. Before the podcast starts, I want to let you know where you can find our podcast. We're on all podcast platforms, so make sure to follow and subscribe to our channels, as well as give us that 5-star rating. You can also check us out on all social media platforms at Spin the Rock to get updates about episodes and previews of our show. All of the links can be found in our description. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome to Spin the Rock. I'm your host, Angel, and with me are my co-hosts.
Eugene?
And Vaughn.
It's been a little while. We know, but the holiday season, it's even busy afterwards. So we just had some stuff going on, but we're back. And of course, the NBA decided to pop off in the small time we were gone. So we have a lot to go over with about. We'll get the one that we didn't get to cover because of our break. We'll talk about Siakam to the Pacers. How'd y'all feel about that trade? Are you excited for the Pacers?
I think we're just getting a small taste of this trade deadline, to be honest. Because it's like, I didn't necessarily expect them to get traded, but it kind of seems like the Raptors are now finding out like we can't contend. So let's just try and, build some pieces around RJ and Scotty now. So, I mean, was it a good trade for the Pacers? Yes. Was it a good trade for the Raptors? Probably not, but it is what it is. And the Pacers have seemingly got a little bit better. They still got some team chemistry issues, but I'm sure those kinks will be fixed after All-Star break.
Yeah.
Malcolm really couldn't have found a better home in terms of having a point guard running the show, like just giving him easy looks. Because Tyrese Halliburton's just such a good passer. I think this will be a good trade for the Pacers if Siakam stays. Otherwise, they just gave up. It wasn't a whole lot, I think, long term, but it would be for nothing if Siakam just walks in free agency. But
I did see a report saying that he was looking to extend.
Okay.
Mm.
So that's good.
Okay. That ruins my point then.
It'll be exciting when the Pacers are in the playoffs. If they're running the Bucks team now, not only do they have that like 4-1 record over the Bucks right now, which I don't know, maybe was a contributing factor to Adrian Griffin getting fired. I don't know, but now they got Siakam, a guy that can actually put on Giannis versus like they had to really work as a team to try and limit Giannis, and he was still scoring as much as he could. So it's exciting news for them for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, as you see my dog, I was going to say, I think it's before Eugene said that he might extend. I would say it's a more win for the Raptors, to be honest, because before there were reports that Siakam wouldn't extend, and that was like his attempt to make the Raptors not trade him. So I guess it was all talk after all. But I would say like the Raptors and their fans have been wanting a rebuild for so long,
and it makes sense because they need it. But
yeah, so like as someone who was like watching the Raptors, I was like, bro, like you gotta give it up. Like it's like that picture of the Charger that's falling apart. Like throw that shit away. Like that's what I was thinking about the Raptors, because you got your rookie in the G League, you got Scotty Barnes, and then like you trade away OG and or Barrett and what's his name?
Quickly.
Yeah, and quickly. I feel like if they didn't trade Siakam this year, it would be a waste of a season, like a huge waste of a season. So I think it was a win-win for both teams, but now I think it's a win-win, like more so for the Pacers now, because they were already looking kind of scary, and now with Siakam, they look even more kind of like, oh shit, like this young team might actually cause some damage. They look like the new Grizzlies almost. So I'm excited for them for sure. And then we'll talk about the obvious elephant in the room with Vaughn's background. Doc Rivers is the new coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. And I want to talk about this next because we have a Bucks fan and a Doc Rivers hater. So I want to get that out of the way. What do you think of this move? Is it a bad look for the Bucks? Is it a good look?
Well, this got to be his last chance. There's no way he gets any more after this. Dame and Giannis, if he doesn't get a chip with these guys, how could this man possibly get in their job after this? Like, people talk about like Kevin Durant, like the talent he's played with and hasn't won with. Doc Rivers has had all-time teams under his belt, and he's got one championship from 2008. Come on, bro. Like, okay, you got your MVP caliber power forward here. You got an all-time point guard under your belt. Got to make something happen. Can't lose in the first round, I guess. It really doesn't matter. Like, if he doesn't get to the finals, I think he's already on the hot seat. But I saw they already had him sign a contract that goes to like 2027 already. So I'm like, they really believe in him for a guy who was consulting Adrian Griffin reportedly. So it's like he was already kind of in this game plan they got going on the Bucks. Me scratching my head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like talk about Doc Rivers all that much because to me it's just like whatever. But I was more surprised that we saw a rookie head coach get fired for being the second best team in the East. You know, like, I get it. He's a rookie head coach. He's probably been with the team for probably a few years at least, as an assistant or, you know, whatever his position was before. But I don't know. To me, it was just really surprising that they fired him this early, and, you know, with this being his like first year, like he didn't even get the full trial run, you know? So it's kind of like, to me, it was more confusing than anything. I'm not going to say I understand it, but I understand what they're seeing in terms of like how the team is playing.
Yeah.
You know, not to the best of their ability. And like some of the schemes they be drawing up are like not good because it's a lot of ISO ball. That's why we haven't seen like a Giannis and Dame takeover game. It's either Giannis or Dame, you know?
Yeah.
So I just don't think it was enough to get him fired, but who am I?
Like, especially like if they're looking at it, just feels like Giannis or Dame instead of Giannis and Dame. Doc Rivers last year, it was like James Harden or Embiid, not both of them together. So this feels like a repeat of what Doc Rivers did on the Sixers. But at the same time, like, it would be cool if Doc Rivers could have another championship under his belt. He's been living off that one for way too long. If he gets another, he could live off the next 20 years, you know?
We've seen coaches last longer that are way worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
even
his
like
first year, like, give him a chance.
I mean, I'm not a coach guy, but I don't think I've ever seen a rookie coach get fired like halfway through the season. Like, it's usually like coaches who are expected to do something that get fired halfway in their first year with the team, but never like one who's like, this is their first like gig.
Right. Like, I think they were just in full panic mode. And I don't know why.
They must have been. I think I want him to come out because the rumors of him saying of them saying he wanted to trade the Naxos, and that's why he was fired. That's gotta bro. There's no way that isn't a little bit true, bro. Because the Naxos had been in trade talks for a while now,
right?
And like, all of a sudden he's fired. Like, he was doing worse at the beginning of the season. Like, it's so funny, but yeah, it's kind of sad, bro. Like, not to take shots at anyone, but like Darvin Ham still has a job, bro. Like, but you know, like, and he's missed the playoffs like a lot. So I don't know what's going on. I just really don't get it. I don't get NBA and their coaches. They're way too quick to firing sometimes, bro.
Right.
They're way too quick, or they don't. All right, moving on. We'll talk about the 270-point games that happened about last week. Joel Embiid and Luka I think Embiid was exactly 70 and Luka was like what, 71?
73.
73.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I want to talk about these points and more so not about the actual performances, but the whole conversation from analysts and NBA Twitter and all that. Is there no defense in the NBA? Has scoring got out of hand? What are your guys' takes on this? Or do you think it's a little bit of panic and nostalgia?
I mean, they are making it, with all like the rule changes and whatever, they are
Mhm.
kind of making it easier to score, compared to back in the day or whatever. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's easy to score in the NBA. Like, none of us could put up even probably like 5 points in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, it's not necessarily easy, but I think, some players can just either expose offenses really well, or they're just feeling it in the zone and the team's just feeding them the ball kind of thing. I wouldn't necessarily say it's easy to score in the NBA though.
I'd say like modern NBA rules encourage scoring versus like the defenders of old, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that's what the NBA wants is like these electric plays and which usually happen on the offensive end. And well, you got Embiid and Doncic scoring 70. Those guys really needed to honestly put 70 to win those games because no one else was scoring. Like with yesterday's game of Steph Curry versus the Lakers, it was literally just Steph Curry versus the Lakers. Like Clay had a couple big shots. Steph didn't quite get to 70, but he had to score all his team's points to keep him in the game. And that was definitely the case with Luka. No one else was helping him. He had to score 70.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, they were really just feeding him, but at the same time, it was working. Versus Karl-Anthony Towns went crazy in the first half. And so they just kept feeding him, but he wasn't quite hitting shots and kind of shot them out of the game. So that's how they end up losing to the Hornets of all people with Pat's 62-point game. It was like an unhelpful 62 points.
Yeah.
There's like a difference between these high scoring games.
Right.
Yeah.
And even when we think back to Devin Booker's 70-point game and he lost, it was like he was doing everything he could to try and win that game, and they still lost because the Celtics just, outscored them. So it's just like there's levels to it.
Yeah. I mean, we also got to think about the type of players that are getting the 70-point games. Like,
Mhm.
put Luka and Embiid like back in like the 80s and 90s, and people will be like, "Oh, these are like the greatest players to ever play the game," because it's like a big man who can do everything, and
Mm.
it's like a weird point guard, power forward guy who can shoot the three, get assists, it's just like these are the type of players who like never ever before seen. So it's like you can't really. Yeah, I just think there's a lot more context and like it's just straight up no defense.
Right.
Because yeah, like Vaughn said, if there was no defense, and Cat would have had like 80 by the end of his game. But because like they noticed, like Cat just wanted that so badly that it just like the defense smothered him. So
Mhm.
it's just like I just think there's a lot of context to it. Is it easier to score? Yeah, the three ball is becoming so important that like it's Curry shot like 20 something threes in one of his games not too long ago. Like it's becoming players' whole arsenal. So I just think it's a little panic, to be honest. All right. And then we'll end the news with the all-star lineups. Oh no. We'll start with Team USA then and on all-star lineups. Team USA came out for the Olympics. Any surprises on that roster at all, or any?
I would say the biggest thing that came from this is Team USA made a point to say Draymond Green is not on Team USA.
Yeah.
Like they specifically pointed that out. Now, am I hyped to see some of these players on this new team? Yes. I would say less so for Team USA's FIBA team most recent FIBA team.
Yeah.
So like I kind of want like the real top talent to actually be out there rather than the C team. So it'll be interesting to see who makes the final roster, because I don't know if they're cooking up nicknames already, like a dream team, redeem team type thing. But
Yeah.
it's something I want to watch in the Olympics for sure.
Yeah, I hope we see like a Curry or KD, esque player play, because that FIBA run was not it.
Yeah, it goes
So
to show how unserious USA takes that tournament.
Right.
Like it's insane. The stark differences between that team and just the player pool alone.
Right.
I think for me, I'm surprised that like so many players are in the pool. Like 41 is a lot of players to like
To pick from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Like
to go down to what, like 15, 13, something like that.
15 probably. I think like at most like 20. Like
Right.
so it's like it's insane, but I get it. Yeah, the Draymond Green thing is surprising because like you didn't have to like do a whole like announcement, bro. Like, it's kind of obvious he wasn't gonna get picked. He's not as good as he once was, plus his problems.
Right.
But like still,
I'll probably say the most surprising names I see in the pool is probably Caruso, Josh Hart of all people, and where is he? Duncan Robinson.
yeah. I was gonna say Duncan Robinson, Walker Kessler, and Bobby Portis. Those three are my surprises. More so Bobby Portis, because I feel like he's one of those guys where like is an underrated guy. So I'm surprised to see him in the poll. Not surprised as in like what is he doing here? But Walker Kessler and Duncan Robinson are also surprising for me. Duncan Robinson because like that man gets no playing time in the NBA.
Right.
Like he gets none. And Walker Kessler, because out of all like the new faces in the league, I'm surprised he was one of the people who made the cut, just because I feel like he's another underrated name.
I think it's because he was on the FIBA team.
Yeah.
And then Josh Hart and those guys.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
Walker Kessler is good though. Like he was up there for Depoy and whatnot. So
he is
like,
a good player.
He does deserve it.
That's just surprising. It's also it always throws me off when I see Embiid in there too. Like I always have to do a double take when I see Embiid as Team USA.
He said Congo's not it, bro.
No, for real. What was it, Congo or so, and like what else? It was like another team that he could have represented.
Cameroon, I think, is where he's from. But he had originally put in French citizenship.
France.
I was about to say, wasn't it France?
Yeah.
He could win with France, but I don't think he wants to team up with Gobert.
I don't know. He wants a gold medal, bro. Let's be honest.
Right.
He wants a gold medal. Yeah.
I think low key, I would, if I was Team USA, I think I'd want a Bam Adebayo over a Joel Embiid, because Bam is always playing his heart out on defense, getting rebounds. But Joel Embiid is such a focus of the offense in an NBA, especially with like his free throws, which he's not going to get in an Olympic setting. Would be kind of scary if he is on Team USA with so many good scorers. But,
I agree with you, because we've seen teams fail with like all first options in the Olympics. I feel like with Team USA, like you really do have to think about not having a full team of first options, because it's European rules, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a more team oriented play style in Europe with European rules than NBA rules. And that's why teams like Spain have absolutely dominated us before, because they know how to play with like a teamwork minded like play style. Exciting though. I'm hyped for these Olympics. Can't wait to see how we do, and go USA.
Facts.
Next up, all-star lineups, and this is what we're gonna end our news on. They came out East and West. Before we talk about that, did they ever put out like the voting results?
They did, but nobody ever talked about them.
Yeah, I never saw them a single time. Like last year, I saw like every single stage last year, but this year I didn't see a single one. So I was wondering about that. Okay. Why don't we here, let me pull it up. So West is LeBron, Jokic, KD, Luca, and Shea. East is Giannis, Embiid, Halliburton, Dame, and Tatum. What do you think of these starters? Any snubs in your mind, or do you like them?
The
Steph
most,
Curry.
yeah, I was about to say the most shocking one is Steph, bro.
Yeah,
Even with them being completely ass this year,
yeah,
it's still surprising to me that he was not a starter, or at
Yeah.
least I don't know if he was like in the if he was even close, to be honest.
yeah.
But yeah, it was very surprising to see Steph not as a starter, but Shea definitely deserves it, and probably
Oh
has
yeah,
deserved it for the past couple seasons, but he just be getting snubbed.
yeah. I was gonna say I'm not even surprised that he got it over Steph, because like I think he does deserve it. I'm just more surprised because we've seen names win you an All-Star startership before.
hmm
Like we've seen players whose team were just downright awful, but still got to start. So that's what I was surprised about. I was like, damn, not even his name could save him.
Right.
Not even the fact that he Steph Curry saved him. And that's what blew my mind. Because, like, yeah, Shea absolutely deserves it. Second in the league, one of the better players. And even Steph, like, people aren't realize Steph is kind of having a slow year.
Mhm.
And
It
so
like it's slow, but like it's still
slow
a
for
good
him.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slow for
like-
him. It's more like average player slow. Like
yeah.
like now he just looks like an average player instead of like the greatest of all time. But yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, I guess it's not that surprising. I'm surprised Dame got a starter up there. I feel like with shooting guard, it's always hard. Like, it's a hard thing to get, but like,
Mhm.
still, I guess he is one of the better shooting guards in the league. I'm just so used to Tatum and Brown starting that like it kind of threw me off to see Dame.
Right. Which probably helps, or not helps, but like gives it a different feel for the East, you know?
Oh yeah,
I think I've seen outcry because like Halliburton or Maxey aren't starting, which I think is fair because Halliburton as a guard has been probably doing his team more justice than Dame, but it's not like Dame's been a bum this season. He's like,
no, Halliburton is starting.
oh, he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Halliburton and Dame. Dame is like the shooting guard.
Oh, it was Brunson. I was
Yeah,
thinking of.
Brunson. Yeah,
Yeah, which
crazy. Snubbed
makes
2
sense.
years in a row. That's kind of insane.
It's the Knicks hate, bro.
Facts.
Has to be. But
Um,
yeah, that's just my point right there.
yeah. East is looking weak compared to West, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
West looks insane. West looks so insane.
As always.
Um, but yeah, that's the All-Star. The reserves should be coming soon, right?
Probably in the next week or
Yeah,
so.
so we'll be here talking about the reserves, and of course, we're gonna do another All-Star draft this year. So that's gonna be fun. Even though they're not gonna do it, we're still gonna do it. But yeah, who are you looking to get a reserve spot? Like, who are you being like they have to be reserve? Like, if they weren't a reserve, they would be a snub in your head.
De'Aaron Fox, I think,
Yeah.
has to be a lock in.
Yeah,
Like, he's been too good on the Kings. Still clutch, former clutch player of the year, so he's got to be in there.
I mean, Curry, probably Donovan.
yeah,
I mean, probably a Miles Turner. I would
Mhm.
hope. I don't know how well he's doing, but I feel like he always plays at least all-star level.
yeah. I was thinking about that. The guards this year, someone's getting snubbed. It's Donovan, Curry, Fox, Booker, Brunson, Brown. Like so many guards this year. One of them is gonna get snubbed, and it's gonna like set people like in like so mad. but like someone important is getting snubbed this year. There's
Right.
no way one of those players aren't getting snubbed. All right, and that's all the news, which brings us to our main topic this year, mid-season review. Or this episode, mid-season review. So we're gonna look at our predictions on the board, see how they're holding up. This year, instead of going over the standings and being like, oh, this is shocking, we're gonna look at our tier list compared to the standings. Last year we never looked back at our tier lists, so this year I'm hoping to implement it into our mid-season review, and also the rookie class, which we're gonna start off first. Rookie class review. How do you feel about this year's rookie race compared to last year and in general?
I think my prediction stands corrected. Chet Holmgren for Rookie of the Year. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's just the difference of someone who has the opportunity to like fill in the gaps on their team versus like Wemby, who's just like doing everything he can when it comes his way. Like, and it doesn't come with his way very often, it feels like. And this has been the running theme of the Spurs the whole time, so that makes sense. But man, I held on such high hopes for Scoot, and the man like can't shoot, and I know he's been on like the rise, but he's just been a little bit of a disappointment for me.
Yeah, he was my Rookie of the Year pick. And like I'm happy to see that he's like starting to get into a rhythm, but it's like, man, it's just so like sad to think we're gonna have like a 3-man race, and it's like the third man is just not it. And so Chet, it's only between Chet and Wemby. Compared to last year's race, I think it's like almost the whole class almost like is exactly the same as last year. Like just like a lot of guys who we didn't see coming, then like a lot of the rookies are just not getting playing time. Like so it was kind of like that last year too. But at least this year the race is exciting. Last year was like only Paolo. Like we were saying Paolo and Benedict, but like the NBA was like, oh no, Paolo's getting it. So at least this year it's between two guys, and it seems like Chet might sneak away.
I think he could, bro.
Yeah.
They sit in the top of the West.
No, for real. I mean, the Spurs are just Pop's got to be heated, bro. The Spurs are just looking so sad. It's almost like when LeBron came onto the Cavs. It seems like the Spurs players are haters. Like
no, like actually though, like
there's so many highlights where it's Wemby doing like a cut, and then Sohan will pass to an open man on the 3-hole brick. And it's like, bro, what are you doing? Give it to the 7'5" like French alien, bro. Yeah, it's wild.
What were our other predictions?
Okay, so I'll go because I have it pulled up here. Yeah, I had a lot of set up. So like while we were talking, I sent our tier list to the Discord. So if you guys want to pull that up, and then I also got our predictions out. So we'll start with I think 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll go in order of Eugene, Vaughn, me, or me, Eugene, Vaughn, because Vaughn has the most and I had the least, and Eugene is like right in between us. So the first prediction we have is from me. Mavs won't get above 7th, and so far
that's standard. They sit at 8 right now,
and they literally haven't
21.
They literally haven't gotten past 7th all year. Like I think they had 7th for like a week at one point, and then like immediately dropped back down to 8th.
But I think that's just because the teams are better, not necessarily because they're losing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I also just think like the Western teams got better and then like the Mavs didn't. So I am gonna give them credit because like they are doing better last year with a lot less. And like I don't know if that's Luka and Kyrie's doing, because I don't pay attention to them really. I just kind of get forced to pay attention to them. But yeah, I don't know why they're doing so much better this year with so little.
Their rookie Derek Lively been holding them down in the paint for defense, which they didn't really have last year. Dwight Powell and Grant Williams is a good 3-and-D option as well. So, and Kyrie and Luka, they've been playing off each other well.
I love that.
which I've been waiting to see.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll make it past play-ins because that looks like what they're gonna have to do.
Mm.
And then that leads to Eugene's prediction: Luka MVP.
Yeah, that's not happening. unless they flip it around, but that's not happening.
It's crazy though, because a lot of people are like saying like if Luka doesn't win it this year, like it's a sham or whatever, which is wild because like when Russ won it and he averaged a triple double, people were mad because he was eighth in the league,
Right.
and yet they are demanding Luka get it, and he's also eighth in the league.
Unless he has a year like that, yeah, you're not getting it.
Yeah, I just think there's way too many players because Vaughn's prediction of Ant will be in MVP talks more than Luka.
Yeah, for sure.
First in the West still.
Oh yeah,
Like-
they're tied for first with the Thunder. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's insane how the Thunder took it away from them for like a week and a half and they instantly got right back up there. Like it's actually like the Nuggets last year didn't have it for this long. Like the Timberwolves are like on fire this year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then sticking with Vaughn, D'Lo will be traded at the deadline.
He's been getting that value up.
Bro, I still think he will, bro. That game yesterday, I think that sent LeBron over the edge. I'm not gonna lie. He had 3 straight possessions, which resulted in a turnover. And then the 4th possession, he made the biggest shot probably of the game. I think he's out of there, bro. I agree with Vaughn, bro. There's no way.
Those turnovers are crazy. Like he was passing it to no one. Like,
No one.
I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He's passing it straight into like somebody else's hands, bro. Like it was bad, bro.
Yeah, the D'Lo coming back to LA did not go as how everyone else wanted it to go.
No, it didn't.
Like they're talking about bringing Schroeder back. They're talking about like bringing Murray. Like it's insane. He's out of there for sure. And then, oh no, I'm gonna save this prediction for last because this prediction might be up for worst prediction of the year. So I'm skipping over that. Eugene, Kings Western Conference Finals.
Where are they sitting right now?
I think they're sitting at like 7th.
They're
They're
fifth
fifth.
right now.
Okay. And it could be right.
It could happen. It could happen.
It's
Who would they have to go against? Well, I guess the bracket would have to fucking like go through its shit, but they have to go against the Nuggets first round.
Yeah, because Nuggets are 4th. I don't know, bro. The Nuggets this year are like weird because we're good against good teams, but we're
Right.
bad against bad teams. Bad teams have been kicking our ass this year. I don't know if we're just like full of ourselves that we don't take them seriously, but like we've been awful against bad teams. So if the Kings fall in the standings, they might be able to beat us. Moving on. Halliburton from me, first all NBA. I said he'll make first team all NBA. Bro,
Could happen.
it's looking like it might happen.
Yeah, I don't know if they take seeds into account for those, but
Yeah.
I mean, stats wise, for sure could happen.
Yeah. But like they don't split it up east and west, so maybe not.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Maybe not. It like I feel like it could happen, but like it would be a miracle to be honest. And then back to Eugene. We'll do Draymond traded at the deadline. Do you still believe that?
Nah, that
Yeah.
ain't happening. Especially
Yeah.
with the suspension, like it could, but he missed a lot of time, and
Mhm.
it's just it's probably just not worth it, you know.
I honestly just don't think anyone. I think the Warriors won't do it, and I don't think anyone would want it, to be honest.
Yeah, nah, nobody wants it, bro.
Yeah.
And like considering like Steve Kerr's usage of him, like Kevon Looney played like 5 minutes yesterday. They had Draymond running center. Like it's kind of ridiculous how much Steve Kerr relies on that man.
Right.
But yeah, that would be a tough sell.
Like he's
Yeah.
a good player. I think it's just he fits so well in their system. And
It's
Steve Kerr
insane.
probably vouches for him, even with all, the backlash he may get. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's just too vital of a player to like let go like that.
I will die on this hill that the Warriors and Draymond literally need each other. Like the Warriors won't have as many wings as they did, and Draymond wouldn't have a career if it wasn't like they're like they live off of each other because it's true. When they had those dog days and Curry and Clay were out and it was only Draymond, like he was a bright spot on their team. So it's just like it's a weird like relationship between the two. Okay, and then damn, I don't know which one to pick next for Vaughn. We'll keep it deadline talks. Donovan Mitchell traded at the deadline from Vaughn.
Even less likely, given like he's been their best player
Yeah.
for the whole season, basically. Like I thought Darius Garland was gonna like share some of that load, but like it just either it's an injury or he has to find his rhythm again, and then goes
Yeah.
back to injury, find rhythm. So it's been kind of tough. I'm wondering why they haven't signed an extension yet. That's kind of worrying.
That is
Uh,
worrying. It's
So
it's the fact that like he's also there's been rumors of him being disgruntled too. So like I don't think they'll do it this year, but like to hold Donovan Mitchell might not be on the Cavs that long. Like it's looking like he might not be there for that long. But at the deadline, I don't think that'll happen. Especially now they're like what, fourth now?
Fifth.
Fifth. So they're back up there. So I don't know what will happen. And then back to Eugene Bridges, most improved player. Like
Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges, yeah, sorry. not Miles or anyone else. Mikal Bridges.
Probably not. I haven't seen nothing from him, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
He was heating up the league for a little bit, so it might happen, but like most improved is such a weird award to win.
Right. Plus, you
wouldn't
can't
even know
really
who-
like guess or like predict that,
Yeah.
like even right now, I wouldn't even know who the front runners are.
Right.
Yeah. So you might get like a blind hole in one off of that one for sure. And then I'll go with mine. That was also a blind shot. Raptors in season tournament winners. Did it even make it out the group?
That's a funny one.
And then no one's even there still. So I tried to go for something, was nowhere near right. And then I'm gonna save Eugene's last one for last. I'm sorry, Eugene. I don't even think you remember that you made this prediction.
Probably not.
So I'm
Probably
gonna save that
wild shit.
one. We'll combine Vaughn's. So Vaughn said Zion will play more than AD, and he also said Ant will be all NBA first team. I'm pretty sure it was first.
That might happen.
I said-
What was the
I said-
81?
Any All NBA team. for
Any
him.
all NBA? Yeah, because I didn't put down
Yeah.
any specifics. So I don't know if you
And
did or not.
then Zion plays more than AD, which I think AD has 7 more games or something like that, more than Zion right now. So it's looking.
So it's
It
looking.
could happen.
It's
I'm
looking
not
like
even
it
sweating
could.
about it. I'm like, one bad injury and it's over.
Another blind prediction that might come true. Yeah, both
7
both
games,
are-
only a week.
yeah.
Could happen.
And then last one for Vaughn, Jamal Murray All-Star.
I'd like that to happen, but there's so many guards in the West, man.
And that's why I said someone's getting snubbed this year. That's important. Like
That could be
someone's
him. It could be him.
and it could be him or De'Aaron Fox, bro. It might be one or two. And I said, Nuggets won't repeat this year, and
It's looking tough.
it's looking tough. It's looking like we
looking tough.
struggle. But like I said, we're doing good against good teams, so I'm not too worried about the Nuggets because
Mhm.
we've been kicking good teams' asses lately. But it's the bad teams. Bad to mediocre teams have been like catching us slipping. So I'm kind of worried about that. But I'm gonna stand tall on the fact that we won't repeat just because in the NBA it's so hard to, especially in this current era. And then saving, I said one prediction might be going down as the worst prediction of this year. Wizards 6 seed from Eugene.
That was my Colin Sexton prediction
You-
right there.
That's- I forgot you made this prediction.
That was
So
in preseason. I'm not gonna lie.
that
That
was
had to
like
be early.
that was our predictions episode where we just like we predicted MVP playoffs, like we predicted a bunch of shit. And so when I was rewatching episodes to find all our predictions to make sure none slipped through, I heard you say that, and I'm like, no way! I forgot you even said that, bro.
The Wizards are currently sitting 14th, the second worst team in the league right now at 8-37. Currently, number 6 in the East is the Pacers, sitting at 26-20.
You
Just
know
for
they
our
can do
listeners.
it. They can do it. Oh man, the pool party is over.
And mind you, they're the second worst team in the league. The Pistons had one of the longest, not even just in basketball, in professional sports history, one of the longest losing streaks ever, and they're only sitting 2 games ahead of them.
Kuzma was like, and we don't want to be that team, and they lost to the Pistons, bro.
That's how bad the Wizards are, bro.
Bro, it's actually surprising. The Pistons were doing so bad that no one paid attention to the fact that the Wizards and Spurs were doing just as bad.
Just as bad.
Like, it's a rough time in the league right now. Our bad teams are bad, bro.
Literally.
Our bad teams are atrocious this year. But yeah, that's all the predictions from us.
I do think I had a prediction based on the Wizards. I said like Jordan Poole 50-point game, and I'm pretty sure that's not.
That's crazy.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I left off Wizards playing for me. I thought Wizards were gonna make the play in.
See, we had high hopes for the Wizards, bro.
No,
We did.
Okay, I had high hopes for Jordan Poole, not the Wizards. Okay, I knew they were going to do bad.
Oh man, yeah, that's gotta. If you hadn't been following us last year on our anniversary, I released all our bad takes, and now this year on our 2nd year anniversary, I know which take I'm submitting for Eugene. It's
That one was bad. That one was bad.
but that's what we do here. We try to shoot for the stars. Next up is our tier list review compared to the actual standings. So I'm gonna go with ones that like is jumping out to us right away. And that is we had the Pistons in mid. We did not expect them to be poverty. And I remember when we put the Spurs in poverty and the Pistons above them, someone commented on our TikTok and said, like, no way the Spurs are going to be worse than the Pistons. And they were
he was
both
right.
wrong and right at the same time because they're just as bad. I've never seen someone be wrong and right at the exact same time. But yeah, pretty crazy. We had kind of some hopes for the Pistons. Any team standing out to you on our tier list?
Grizzlies.
Playoffs, yeah.
It's not looking like they even go touch play-ins.
Yo,
So,
compared that to Timberwolves are beneath them in play-ins.
yeah, see, like, bro, it's like we're not. Well, we were also thinking like once Jaw comes back, he was gonna flip the team around. He did. Or he was starting to.
Yeah, he did.
And then he gets, season-ending injury.
Like 2 days after he came back.
Right. Like it was just super unfortunate. So like it really could have happened, but anything can happen. And anything happened. Same with Warriors though. Warriors, Lakers.
Oh yeah.
They might not make the playoffs.
It seems like our play-ins and playoffs tier list can be swapped 1 for 1 almost.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have Mavs, well, not Mavs.
Bro, we
Yeah,
had the Wizards in play-in, bro.
That yeah. Hey, we really thought they could sneak in there. I don't know what's more atrocious, Timberwolves in play-ins or Pistons in mid, like, or even like we have the Nets in play-ins.
The Nets and play-ins. I think the play-in tier for us was just a bunch of I don't knows. If you
Yeah.
really think about it, because like we had for our listeners, we have the Mavericks, the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Hawks, the Wizards, the Pacers, and the
The
Nets.
Nets.
Those are a bunch of minus probably the Wizards.
Even the Hawks, like the only team that aren't higher than play-ins right now, like that don't belong in the play-ins, are the Hawks and the Wizards. And I guess
Yeah.
that's somewhat, but like everyone else in the play-ins are either in the play-ins or
Playoffs.
better.
Yeah.
Or better. There's only two teams that like I'm like, damn, they are nowhere near the play-ins, and that's not even because the Hawks can still sneak in.
Right.
I do have to apologize to the Magic. We got them in poverty. They've at least been hanging in and playing contention.
Yeah,
Number 8.
big up. We honestly, the Magic and Pistons, we honestly could have like switched them, and we would have been like, we would have looked like geniuses if we had the Magic in mid.
But we also weren't expecting them to be atop the East for
No.
that long, that like
Yeah.
2-week stretch or however long it was.
Um,
I think we were pretty right about mid though.
yeah, mid is looking pretty right. It's the Bulls, the Rockets, the Jazz, the Raptors. So we're looking pretty good, and even our poverty is like not that bad. It's the Blazers.
Yeah.
It's the Blazers, the Spurs, and the Hornets, who are all like pretty low.
Right.
Like-
the only other team you could put in poverty is Pistons.
Pistons, yeah. Pistons and Wizards are the only teams that.
Yeah.
like,
Wizards.
But yeah, are you surprised about the Blazers at all? I know.
No.
I know. No. Okay.
No. Like, they gave up CJ, a few seasons back. At that point, I was kind of like, all right, well, Dame is not going to be able to carry this team by himself. He stayed for a few more seasons. He was hurt like one of those full seasons. Yeah.
He was hurt a lot, low key.
So it was just like, his time was coming to an end. And I'm sure everyone in Portland knew that.
I don't know, bro. I feel like some Blazers fans were like low key excited for their team.
They were probably holding out hope, but bro, it was
Me when I'm
just
delusional.
Dame. Right? Like it was just Dame. Like there was nobody else on that team. So it was really just they reached their full cycle moment, and now they're rebuilding. So I don't think they're necessarily mad about it, but
I'm more. At least they did it, bro. Like the Raptors waited a little too long to pull the trigger. Like the Blazers at least pulled the trigger a lot earlier. I don't know what's more surprising though, Scoot's performance or Ayton's performance.
I would say Scoot. I'm not gonna lie, because he was popping G League, popping Summer League, even popping in the preseason, and then all of a sudden regular season starts. He's playing like not even a bench warmer. Like he's playing like
a bum.
Yeah, like I'm still holding out hope for him, but
yeah, I am holding out hope for him too because he is on the rise. I think I only asked because DeAndre Ayton is having like an awful season, like straight and it's going to the point where like his box score is low-key making him look better because he's actually worse than the box score is showing. Like his pick and rolls are awful. Like he looks lost out there, and then he keeps going to these media conferences and being like, "No, I'm gonna show the league like I deserve a max contract," and it's like the next day we'll have one of the worst performances of his career. So it looks like the Pacers bit a bullet, bro. The Pacers really they dodged a bullet for sure because they tried to trade for him or they tried to sign him, and the the Suns blocked the signing,
Right.
and it's like, who would have known? Who would have known how the Pacers would have looked with Ayton? To be honest, because he's not looking hot.
I think that story of him being snowed in and he couldn't get to the game, that sums up how his time in Portland's been.
Okay, in his defense, those videos of like people were showing videos of Portland that day, and they're like, "Nah, like we gotta stop clowning him. It's dangerous out there." There was like full on cars like having to like neutral and still moving
Right.
across the road. So we gotta cut him some slack there. Is there anyone else that you're surprised about on our tier list? We mostly talked about the bad teams and the good teams. Is there anyone who was like just a tier higher or lower?
The Suns are too high for me. And
Yeah.
seeing that we see now, you know, who knew all those minimum contract guys filling in the roster spots aren't cutting it for that team as a championship contender, you know. How many games has Devin Booker, KD, and Bradley Beal even played? It's got to be less than like 5.
I
There's
thought
no
it
way.
was only 1.
Damn. Still.
I don't know. Last time we talked about it, it was only 1. And even then the one game was like not even like a full game.
Yeah, like Bradley Beal got hurt that game, like
Yeah.
minutes in.
Let's look how.
Yeah, let's not even considering their big 3, like their starting center is Yusuf Nurkic, and that man is always getting cooked or missing a layup. Like I've never seen a center miss as many layups as Yusuf Nurkic.
Bro got no knees, bro. That's why.
Yeah, the first game they officially played fully together was December 13th. So we had like 23 games straight of them not playing together. And who knows if they play together since. So yeah, I think at the time it was like we couldn't not call them contenders. Was our argument. It was like there was like at the time it was like there's no way they're not. And then yeah. KD and Buck and Beal are just not playing together, and when you have 3 guys as like your only like really good players and they don't play together, it's like the rest of the guys have a lot more on their shoulders than they expected to be, I'm sure.
Which I'm surprised like KD even like wanted to go through that again, you know?
I don't know why KD just won't go on like a team on the up and up rather than a super team.
Right.
The team on the up and up, at least you know these players are good and
Right.
you'll take them further. But like he's going to teams that are full on destroying themselves to get him. So it's like, I don't know. It's a bad look for the Suns. And to go from NBA finals to not even in the playoffs, like it's gonna be insane.
Like they're sitting at 6 right now, I think is okay for their situation. But come playoff time, like Thunder, Timberwolves, even the Clippers, they probably should be favorited over them because at least they have complete teams.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on like a team like with depth like Nuggets or the Kings, you know, like
Yeah.
the bonus Jokic, they're gonna cook down in the
Yeah.
it will be very ugly, but you know, I don't necessarily feel sorry for the Suns. I think this is just kind of like the consequences of building a super team, which like you've seen happen as recently as the Nets, and you wanted that for yourself. It's kind of just like a big question mark.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest, but we'll see what happens. Anything else you guys would like to add before we call it?
I'm gonna say the Clippers, bro. Like,
Okay.
you actually might be right. Your prediction of the finals matchup, because I don't know what Tyronn Lue got cooking up now, but they cooking.
Oh yeah, they're on a 5-game winning streak, bro.
Yeah, like, and they still got Harden. Like, I haven't watched a single one of their games since then, since you know the trade, but they got 4 superstars on that team, and they are clearly doing something right. So,
I think the only thing that's changed them in my eyes from someone who's like been casually watching them, Russ and the bench, they cooked. I'm not gonna lie. Russ with the bench squad, and I think that's just Russ. Like you put Russ on the bench, he's gonna perform
Right.
because he's basically had a bench squad when he was on the Thunder after KD left. So, but like still, they have been doing good. Like when their starters come off, they're performing still. And then KD and Paul George have been actually playing a lot of games. Well, not KD, Kawhi and Paul George have been playing a lot of games, which is like a new thing for the Clippers. Like, when was the last time they both played a lot at the same time? Probably never.
No,
So,
literally.
so I just think it's like a lot of things are just actually going well for them for once. Like the Harden trade, I still think I still think he was dumb. I'm not gonna lie, but like it's working for them, and I can't really hate on it that much because if it's working for them, it works for me.
Yeah, I was definitely clowning that prediction, but it could happen.
Yeah, I mean they're above the Nuggets.
Yeah, it's like they went from Harden gets traded there to like a 5 or 6 game losing streak to
Yeah.
like climbing as high as they are. It's kind of like remarkable what they've been cooking down there.
Would you say
Yeah.
they're a contender right now? No.
No, I mean they're only 2 games behind first and second, but I just feel like the Bucks.
Really from first.
Well, not the
Yeah.
Bucks.
They're like a fringe contender, you know? Like I wouldn't put them in as a lock, but there's a lot of like veteran experience there and good players enough to get them over the hump if they got like a good standing wise, like maybe a easy team to beat, maybe an injured team, you know. They could make it that way.
In my opinion, they're like the Heat. Like I can see them going to the finals, but I can't see them winning it. Like that's like how I see it. Cause like the Heat, they like both times they went to the finals, except for last year. Last year was the one time I was like actually surprised that the Heat made it so far. But like the times they made it far, I wasn't surprised. I just like knew they weren't gonna win. And that's kind of how I see the Clippers. I just feel like I won't be surprised if they make it to the finals, but I will be surprised if they win the finals because like Paul George, Russ, like they've never been to a finals game before.
Well, Russ has.
Oh, duh.
Young Thunder. Yeah.
Young Thunder. I forgot about that. But like, you know, plus
it's not a lot of finals experience.
Yeah. Kawhi is probably the only one on that team. Well, no, not even Harden has finals experience.
Yeah.
I mean, Norman Powell's there too. He got tricked.
Oh, I forgot about Norman Powell and Kawhi. Maybe they could do it again.
Maybe Kawhi actually returned the fist bump.
But I don't know. We'll see. The NBA is so unpredictable. So who knows?
Are we leaving the Heat at contenders?
I would, yes.
Yes.
Like some playoff time, Coach Spoelstra with that max extension that he recently got. Yeah, he's got a lot of reasons to put that team together for.
Okay.
Contenders.
We skipped this in the news segment, but I feel like we can close on this. We can close on the Heat talk. Rozier on the team. They got rid of Lowry. Does that help their case? Because I know, Eugene, you're not a believer in the Heat for contenders, right?
Not like y'all.
Yeah.
Like I'll vouch for it. Like I'm not gonna like vouch for anything less than, but I'm not as favorable as a contender for that y'all are.
Yeah. So does Rozier change your mind at all or no?
I just need to see him play more in like how they use him. Cause like I don't know how they used Kyle Lowry. Did he start or no?
I don't think he did anymore. I think he's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he'll probably be in the same role as he was on the Hornets, coming off the bench. But I don't think it changes a whole lot. On Kyle Lowry's end, though, he just needs to retire, bro.
Oh,
He
God.
needs to call it raps.
Bro, I
I'm
really do
sorry.
wonder, will we see Lowry in a Hornets jersey?
I don't think we will. I think he's gonna get bought out.
Yeah, I was gonna
At
say,
least if I was him, I would want to.
yeah, I don't know if we will. I'm kind of excited for it, but like I'm also more so excited because on the Hornets, he was like a good piece for them, but like on the Heat, I wonder if they're gonna put too much responsibility on him
Mhm.
because yes, he did good on the Hornets, but like if he didn't do good on the Hornets, that's a bad thing.
Right,
Like
right.
that's not a good thing. So like I'm more so worried if he'll become like all of a sudden like get more touches than he should, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
I saw his first game, like highlights, and he did pretty well. So
Mhm.
if they use him, like that or similar like that, then maybe it could work out better.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can
I don't know how they're gonna use him.
It's way too early to say because I think he's played like 4 or 5 games and they've won one game with Rozier so
Yeah.
far. And Rozier is only averaging 8 points on like 30% shooting. So
Mhm.
he's not there yet. He's not fully acclimated.
Mhm.
But it makes me wonder, will he ever get acclimated considering like on the Celtics, when he was on the rise, he was a bench scorer and he'd have a 20-point game or like a 2-point game. And like on the year, it was like 9 points a game for the season.
Yeah.
So is that going to happen again? Versus like him on the Hornets, a bad team, 20 something score, 6 assists. Like he was a career year this year, I think.
Yeah.
But he's on a bad team. Are those empty stats? You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
that.
that's the worry.
That's the same concern I had because it's like it's easy to get those stats on a team where like the main guy is always injured. So you become the guy who can get a lot more touches. I can see him as a sixth man, but that's only if like he actually acclimates well. Because the way the Heat play, it's just like it's they don't play the same way as every other team. Like
Mhm.
with their system, it's very much different than how like if he was on the Celtics again or the Bucks. Like it's just like I'm interested to see if he can fit in or not.
I think he
But
will because he's just that kind of player, that fits into the Heat culture, and
yeah,
that's just what they look for, kind of thing.
yeah,
But we won't see him acclimate until probably
wait,
after All-Star break. Yeah,
yeah, because he was a good six man for the Celtics. Like,
right.
so I wonder if he can get back there because it's been a while since he's been that kind of player.
Hmm.
As far as Lowry goes, if he gets bought out, I think I'd like to see him a team on like the Timberwolves because
Yeah,
he won't have huge responsibilities, but their offense plays really dumb. It's like still to this day they have a really dumb offense. Take dumb shots, don't pass when they should, and I think Kyle Lowry could be their, I guess Chris Paul in a sense.
yeah,
He's been around. He's been a good point guard, and although his stats aren't good this year, and he's injury prone, at least he has the knowledge and to spread across the team. So that would be
I
my
was
hope.
I was gonna say, and this might be stupid because I don't really know too much about them, but I was gonna say either the Pacers or the Thunder. Like him
Mm.
as a vet presence on one of those younger teams would be fire. Kind of like how Mike Conley was for a
Mhm.
while for
Mhm.
like the Jazz and stuff like that. I can see him doing good on there. Maybe not the Thunder because they have a good thing going on. But like if the Pacers can get him,
Right.
that'd be kind of sick. I just want him to go to a team that needs a backup point guard and not necessarily a starting one.
Right.
Like I don't really want to see him have a heavy responsibility. I want him in that Mike Conley role where like all of a sudden he just is clutch because of his experience. Like Conley was in the play-ins last year.
Mhm.
All of a sudden scoring free throws and middies out of nowhere. Like I just want Lowry to be kind of like that because I don't want him to end up like DeRozan or Chris Paul or any of those other guys. I
Mhm.
kind of want him to like have one last chance.
I feel like he still can play. It's just
Yeah,
where is he gonna go?
exactly.
So we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't step foot in a Hornets jersey though.
I only don't want him to step foot in a Hornets jersey because he probably would start. And like I just don't
think?
want bro.
Bro, I think LaMelo's just too good right now.
Oh no, LaMelo's is injured a lot.
That's true. That is true.
Like LaMelo's injured a lot. So he's gonna start. If he plays for the Hornets, at one point he's gonna start.
Right.
Because he's injured all the time. But who
Mhm.
knows? We'll see. That's probably where we're gonna call it. You guys want to add anything else? Any other midseason? All right. Well, thank you for listening. If you're listening on any podcast platforms, make sure you subscribe, give us that good old 5 stars in the review, and let us know what you think about the midseason so far. We are on YouTube for video format, so make sure you like and subscribe there. We're on all social media platforms at Spin the Rock, so make sure you check us out there for clips and episode updates. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.